I changed the groups up somewhat. I've got Pod up at front, Radar, Katniss, Jude, Pumpkin and Phoebe on this walk. And then different mix up for the next walk is kind of the plan. So I don't want like any group getting too established with one another, and like different dogs have different needs of like where we are going for exercise, and yeah, kind of just mixing it all up that way of who's with who, so they don't rely on one another, and then who needs which walk when. Because like the fitter you get your dogs, the more exercise they're going to expect or want or need to be satisfied. So, and some of the dogs don't need to be massively fit because they're not showing, they're not doing anything that requires them to be super duper fit and conditioned. Still fit and conditioned compared to a lot of people's dogs, I'm sure, but you know, there's always a balance is kind of what I'm trying to say. And like Pumpkin, building up her conditioning to be back in the show ring. Radar, building up his fitness and conditioning, bearing in mind he's a young male and hasn't had the level of consistent exercise that Jazz has. So like 2 forestry walks in a row would be too much for him, and it'd probably be too much on his paw pads too. Katniss! You are disgusting. You are a naughty girl. You are a bad girl. You are naughty. Yeah, Wiggle Pickle. You get cute. You get cute. So yeah, we got Nala, Pickles, Finnick, Aria, Raven and Jazz. Oh my goodness, I had to think then. And then I've let Lanny and Dudley out in between while I've given Beast some hay, and then they can come out and play ball once this is all done. And Lanny may do a treadmill session as well. Pod did a treadmill session yesterday. So like I don't put them on the treadmill every day, not even every other day. And not everybody goes on it anyway, but I feel like for some of them that just can, I don't know, get a bit of pent up energy, it works quite nicely that they can have a trot on there and just put in a workout session. God, Aria really amps up the energy. I think Jazz and Raven are running more today than they did yesterday. Finnick's had one decent run and he's just like going at a fairly normal clip now. And Pickles is following him because he's going further and faster than Nala, but not as fast as the girls. See, I'm going to hope they're keeping up with the girls. Oops. So I did have a slight change of direction because I'm very tired. Fatigue is a nightmare, but the dogs are having good fun. For some reason, they love to roll down this hill. But anyway, they're having good fun, and I'll probably just join you when I get somewhere easier to walk, if I'm honest. Oh my god. So, yeah, I've passed all sorts of people today with dogs, and varying from like good to hopeless. Interaction number 1. I've got 6 dogs on lead. We are heading up to the forestry. My dogs are excited. They see somebody walking down the path towards us with a dog off lead, and they are where I'd normally let my lot off lead. So I walk a little way past the turning to wait for this person to walk down. Also to give this person a chance to either recall their dog slightly or to put it on lead. They do neither. The dog speeds up because it sees my dogs and comes and approaches 6 Dalmatians who are on lead. And it did not occur to them to recall this dog. It's like, and I actually asked her to because, you know, one, the dog was a spaniel. And we know Nala isn't hugely fond of spaniels. But two, like, my dogs are excited because they want to get going on their walk. Like, you know, get it over with. Like, my dogs don't need to see your dog. But they didn't do anything. But it's beside the point. Like, that person did not know what sort of dogs her dog was approaching. Did not know the reason why my dogs were on lead. Like, you kind of got to be polite in these situations. And you know, she'd have attempted to recall the dog, but couldn't. That would have been different. Because at least she tried. But nothing happened anyway. Do you know what I mean? Interaction number 2. 2 people with 1 dog who's on a harness and an extendable lead. It's a trackway as wide for like 1 car. Their extendable is out without being clicked, locked, but the dog could have reached either side of the track. So, again, all of my dogs are on lead because they're about to get on the road. So I stop and I wait. And they were like looking at me like didn't know what to do. They didn't understand why I'd stopped. So eventually it twigged to one of them to say, you know, pull the dog on a shorter lead. Because if their dog is on an unlocked extendable lead, then the potential is that dog could come into the middle of my lot, who are all on lead, and tangle themselves up royally with all of my dogs while everybody's on lead. And then we're in a pickle. So I just waited. Eventually they recalled the dog. The dog came to them, clicked the lock on the extendable, and then I walked forward and we passed them without incident. It's like, I hate extendable leads. Anyway, but the potential for a situation to go badly then was enormous. So, incident number 3. I say incident. It's just I passed a dog. Again, like nothing happened, bad or negative. It's just people didn't really see what I was seeing, I think is the way of saying it. So I walk in, see somebody with a miniature dachshund walk in towards me. So I tell my lot, don't make a noise, because I know generally, you know, go for a breed stereotype, a miniature dachshund is going to bark when it sees another dog. They just do. I'm not saying they all do, but more than likely they do. So the bloke is saying something to his dog at about the same time. So I laughed and I said, I got a couple that may bark back. With that, sausage dog barks at my lot. My lot jump out of fright and land in the hedge to my left, as far away from the dog as possible. So they didn't make a noise. They actually jumped out of this dog's way because it gave them a shock, a bit of a fright that it barked at them. And I'm like, you know, they don't see size of a dog, we know that, but they clearly don't count either to realise that dog was outnumbered 6 to 1 So there's no point jumping. But I don't know, I suppose realistically, they don't see size. They may count numbers, but the fact that I gotta sort all that out. The dog just gave them a shock was why they jumped. But anyway, I just thought that was quite funny. But you know, 3 sorts of dogs, 3 sorts of owners, all a bit mad. So anyway, I shall see you all soon. Bye.